Hello, and welcome back to Dogs Do Speak with myself, Samantha Wayland, and the amazing Colin Spence. Today, we are joined by the fantastic Carrie-Anne Selwyn, who is going to tell us all about herself and canine hoopers. Lovely to meet you, Carrie.
Hi, thank you so much for letting me come on the podcast. Hi listeners. I am Carrie-Anne Selwyn. I run Canine Hoopers World. I've been a dog trainer for well over a decade. I'm not sure quite how far into that decade we'll go because that makes me sound old. So we won't age. I won't age myself on the podcast. But yeah, I've been training dogs for a long time. Originally was a horsey girl, so worked with horses, worked at a cattery, did animal management, and all that stuff, and then we got a bull breed type that came from a flat in Deptford. So I'm sure that's an area Colin will be very familiar with. We got a bull breed from Deptford, like you know where this is going. So it was kind of like, right, need to train her because at the time, pit bulls were at the kind of front of the BSL banned breed list, and we didn't know what she was going to grow into. We didn't know if we'd bought a staffy mix, a pit, what she was going to be. So we started going to training classes with actually a friend of mine that was a trainer, and it kind of spiraled from there. One of the women that was at the yard I was at with my horse was setting up a dog training business. She was like, look, you've been training now a while. Do you want to come on? So I was like, oh, probably might need to get a little bit qualified for this, because qualifications are good when you're training dogs. It's good to know the actual science behind stuff, right? Rather than just go, oh, I've got a dog, I'm training now. And yeah, so I went down the IMDT route originally and did like my 2 day, my 4 day, went over to Spain and did an intensive training course over in the doghouse, and then did my 6 dayer and literally did my exam like the next week. It was like super intense getting all the information in my brain. Passed that and then started teaching classes, and that's kind of where I where I began. Did a lot of pet training, did pet classes, did some trick stuff, did some dog yoga stuff. And then I was with a friend and we'd seen this Hoopers thing. And she was like, oh, I'm going to get a trainer in to like do a workshop. So we'll try it. And I took Munchkin, my little bully girl, first of all. And Munch was cool until she realized there was tunnels. And then she just overcooked and just I didn't do a lot of sport with Munch because when she got over aroused, that generally meant a limb ended up in her mouth. Not like in a horrible, nasty way, but like it wasn't a redirection. She would just grab bite because, genetics. So I had to always be mindful. She was a brilliant tracking dog because tracking kept her down, whereas Hooper's brought her up. So I was like, okay, well, this is fun, but I wonder what the Chihuahua thinks of it. And my, at the time, youngest Chihuahua, she's now the eldest, um, went to this workshop and she just was amazing. And it was like I'd finally found what made us click. Because I tried loads of different things. All my dogs have pretty much tried every sport. Like you name it, they will have tried it. And with Minx, I'd never found the thing that made her go, oh, this is cool, mum, we can do this. And then we did Hoopers, and that was it. I was literally hooked, like wanted to do it. Fast forward a few years, I got my German Shepherd Dodge. He was a very special boy. Lots of behavioral glitches and very, very big emotions. And he has made me the trainer I am today. Like, he was amazing, but he wasn't easy. And we went on a journey of teaching him these cool tricks that was Hoopers to actually competing with him. And we got through to like finals, and he got up to like grade 4, which is currently the highest grade. And he was just a dude. And then got my little Malinois 18, well, she's 18 months old. So 16 months ago, my little my little whirlwind came home, and we started hoopers really early with her because it's so low impact. We could just like play with shaping a hoop, going around a barrel, going for a tunnel. It's all just confidence stuff, right? So at 15 months, they're allowed to start competing. And her first competition weekend, she came home with, I think it was 8 firsts and 2 seconds.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
impressive.
Like that was quite a way to kind of bring her sort of competitive career in. Like she was like, yeah, I know what we're doing. We're doing this game on it. And for me, it's just me and my dog in a ring working together. Everything else goes out of your brain. You can't worry about whether you've got to get milk on the way home. You can't worry about whether you forgot to record something on the telly. You can't worry about whether you've got a bill to pay. It's just you and your dog in that moment. And that's a little bit magical.
I love that.
So for anyone that's watching that's never heard of hoopers,
Right?
what is it?
So you have courses of hoops, which are an arch that are roughly a meter tall, like a third of a meter wide. That's about as scientific as that gets right now. Then you have tunnels, but the tunnels are shorter and straighter. So agility, you have long tunnels that are 4, 5, 6, 7 meters long. Hooper's tunnels are between a meter and 2 meters normally. They're always straight, but they are also 80 centimeters like big. So the only dog I've had that didn't fit in a Hooper's tunnel was a wolfhound. And bless her heart, she walked up to it and went, no. But we've had everything from like little teeny tiny like Chihuahuas, Affenpinchers, all the way up to like Dodo Bordeaux's. There's a few Danes that do it. I think they miss the tunnels, but they can do the barrels. So there's barrels as well. And then a few other organizations have like a panel that the dogs go past, which is called a gate. I don't know why it's called a gate because you go past it. It makes no sense to my brain. Someone called it that, and I don't know why. It should have just been called like a fence because, you know, past, not through. And then sometimes there's a mat on the floor that they run over. So you've got like a course similar to agility, but it's always flowing. So the idea is it's nice, loose turns. The dog can kind of see the line. And this is where once the dog becomes more proficient in the game, the idea is the handler doesn't need to run around very much. And when you get more advanced, you actually have like a handling area you are in, and you handle the whole course from, I think it's like 1.5 meters square.
Wow. This sounds like my kind of sport because let me tell you, the watching people do agility, it's the handlers running that puts me off.
Yeah, I don't do running on principle.
Yeah.
I can run, I do not care to run. Like,
So you've got the course set up. Is this only for professionals or?
oh no. So this is the other thing I love about hoopers, because a lot of dog sports, agility is a really good example because agility takes years of training, like literally years. Like V is just starting to do little jumps and tunnels courses in agility. We've still got so many things that, I mean, I haven't even started teaching her weaves yet because frankly, I don't quite fully understand the physics of how her body's going to move to get through the weaves. Like the physicality of agility is, it's high impact, so it's not suitable for all dogs. You know, sports like flyball, again, it's fast, it's high impact, it's not suitable for all dogs. Hoopers, we have like over weekend, I can see a dog of 15 months old that's just starting and a dog of 15 years old that's still having fun with their owner. And that's why I love it, because it's so diverse, it's so welcoming, it's so opening. And yes, when you compete in the UK, time is a factor. but we have veteran classes. So the elder dogs can do stuff with the other elder dogs. And as a judge, personally, if it's possible, I might make the veteran courses maybe a little bit easier, just so it's a little bit soft on dogs' body, but also the dog's hearing's not as good as it was, and their eyes aren't as good as they were because, you know, we're all getting older. We can all appreciate that. So it's something that the dogs can still play with their handlers and have fun. And if the handlers need to run around next to the elder dogs, then absolutely they can. Like, it's just, you can practice bits in your garden. You don't need loads and loads of big expensive equipment. Like, you can get your laundry basket and practice the dog going around the laundry basket for training at home.
And that's what I think why Hoopers is really not just interesting, but it's a sport that any dog can participate in.
Yes.
Because like you just pulled out the laundry basket.
Yep.
So yeah, which is the barrel.
Yep, exactly that.
If you like. So when you are running these classes, so it's pet dogs can do this. What about the owners, the handlers? Do they have to have good mobility?
No, so we've got one of my clients actually does use either walking aids or a wheelchair. So sometimes she shows up and I don't know if she's in a chair that week or whether she's using an aids that week. So for me as a trainer, I actually like that because I've got to be able to adapt my lesson plan to that person. But it's literally all ages. We have kids handling. We have elders. I mean, they're going to moan if they listen, but they know I call them my elders on a Wednesday. Majority of my clients on a Wednesday are over 70.
Wow.
Like, and I love them, and they moan at me for calling them their elder, but it's from a place of endearment.
That, that makes me feel shameful. Um, I'm near that age. Yeah, another 8 years and I'll be there.
Yeah, so you're just a youngling if you're not.
Oh,
But
you
yeah,
know,
so all the ages can join in. And just the handlers, if they want to run with their dogs, absolutely they can. But if they want to work on that distance handling, then absolutely they can. Like, we can adapt it because let's face it, the children, like if you've got the younglings come, quite often they want to run, you know, because they've still got that energy vibe. You find, I'm going to put it out there, the people over 30 do not wish to do the running as much. Just putting it out there into the world. So also I really enjoy the distance handling element. And for me, it's given me really cool foundations for my agility because already certain parts of courses I can distance handle. So I'm not sprinting up and down like a lunatic. Like, obviously, I call it brisk movement. There are times of brisk movement, but I'm absolutely not running because no. Because she's understood hoops and lines and she can run a line, you then transfer that into jumps and she goes, oh, I take the thing in front of me. The problem I am having is when she needs to decelerate, but I think that's a Mally issue rather than a course issue.
What would you say is the biggest positive of doing it? Like, why should people do it? So rather than going to like a gym.
That's the simplest, easiest answer. It's fun. Like, so top reason would be it's fun. Then I would say it actually teaches your dog to listen to you. Because the dog needs to be listening to do the directing, so that's cool. It's fun. It keeps your dog's listening skills, but also I think it builds for me not only trust with you and your dog, but also it builds your teamwork, and that's part of having a dog, right? You and your dog are a team.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the relationship becomes stronger because you're working together. Yeah.
We know that training builds trust and teamwork when training is done correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you then add fun into it, what, like, it's just a why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's value. The Hoopers, as I understand it when I'm watching it, the relationship between the handler and the dog is always really good.
Mm.
Yeah, the dog is finding the activity quite rewarding. So their focus on the handler becomes even stronger because they want the next direction. So it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah.
But how many different stages do you have within Hoopers?
So do you mean like the different types of courses, or like the grades that you can go through if you're competing? Like,
Grades.
okay, so at the moment, depending on the organizations,
Mhm.
some of the organizations will have like beginners and improvers. So you get enough points and then you basically win out, similar to other sports. Um, some of the organizations have like up to kind of grade 4. Um, again, like you can either win up from points of clear rounds, or like with a lot of things in dog training, the only thing that the organizations can agree on is that we'll all use hoops, barrels, tunnels. Um, there are a few varying rule books, and some of it is literally just down to geography. You know, if you live down south and the organization has all the competitions up north, then you're going to be more likely to compete somewhere that's nearer to home. I do laugh with agility friends sometimes, because an agility run can be anything from 20 to 60 seconds, depending on course length and how long the dog takes and stuff. Viper's fastest course to date was 8 seconds. That's probably the most expensive £5 I've ever spent in my life. Like, it took me longer to set her up, put her in a weight, and walk away from her than it did for her to run the course.
So if a dog owner, a pet owner, pet
Yep.
dog, wants to do hoopers, they got what you're saying is depending on where they are in the country, they got different organisations they can go. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you are listening, go, okay, this sounds really cool. Have, like, if you kind of Google Hoopers, so Canine Hoopers World has instructors, and we've got a little Facebook group. If you go onto the Facebook group and say, hey, is there an instructor? Or drop me an email, we'll do the emails and stuff at the end. But yeah, I can kind of let them know where nearest instructors will be. There are a few organizations that have instructors. So I would go with someone that has done an instructor course, so they know about course design and they understand kind of the safety aspects of teaching hoopers, because yes, it is low impact, but there are still a few kind of safety things that we need to be careful of. Like with any activity, right? There's safety precautions when you're doing scent work, when you're like even just doing recall workshops, like we all know about long line handling and that kind of thing. So find yourself an instructor that understands what they're doing. But in terms of like competitions, like if you want to go and watch, most competitions are happy for you to kind of rock up and be like, hey, can we come and watch that day? Yeah, and it's just you and your dog having fun, but you don't have to compete. So this is part of the kind of setup of Hooper's World. We do have some online stuff you can do. So you can work through some sort of progress stuff with your own dogs at home, which is all online. So you video your dogs doing the exercises, and then I tick it off and hopefully send you a pretty rosette in the post. Also, if you work with a canine Hooper's World instructor, you can work your dog through the Progress Awards. Now, the Progress Awards are very big and shiny and lovely, and there are currently 19 levels.
Wow.
So there's no just bronze, silver, gold business. Like, there are levels. The idea of those, there were two reasons. One was I had clients that didn't actually want to compete. You know, not everyone wants to be in the show environment, and show environment isn't always suitable for all dogs. You know, I know that from competing a reactive boy. Like on the showground, he wore a muzzle. Everyone was very lovely and gave us the space he needed. But I was very mindful of what shows I took him to, what rule books I competed him under, and also where I took him. Because if I knew there was going to be an agility show and we would be in the middle of 9 agility rings, absolutely I would not take him there. If I knew there was an agility show but the Hoopers ring was separate, then yes, I could take him to that show. So I wanted to make it again as accessible as possible, because if you're somewhere in the world where there aren't any hoopers instructors, you can still start the basics and just have fun with your dog in your garden, in your living room. As long as the floor's not slippery, you can practice one hoop. You can practice one barrel. Like, you can start building your distance. There's so many different elements to it that you can practice at home with your dog that make it accessible for all the people and all the dogs.
So, barring the online bits and pieces, are there classes where people can actually come along and learn?
Yeah, there's classes everywhere. So we currently, Canine Hoopers World has over 600 instructors internationally.
Wow. So
So
not just UK, worldwide.
yeah,
No.
we've got a big hub in Western Australia, and Australia is spreading. We are spreading the Hooper Sparkle around the world. Spain, America, Canada, like there's more around Europe. There's like South Africa. Like we're getting instructors like all over, which is amazing. New Zealand. Yeah, just it's spreading, like Poland, Czech Republic. We're getting more and more instructors, more people are getting involved. Also, the sport, it's growing as a sport. So there's more organizations popping up around the world of where you can actually go and compete. And the rules are slightly different. Like I believe in Germany, the runs aren't actually timed. So you have a qualifying run rather than a winning run. So they don't split the dogs in size category either, because obviously you just get round the course, but they have a big emphasis on distance handling. Whereas in the UK, it's your time, but you will get bonuses for distance. So with one of the organizations I compete with regularly, if you handle it from the hardest area, you can have 5 seconds taken off your time. So when your dog runs the course in 8 seconds and you handle from 5 seconds, it means your actual end time was less than 4 seconds.
Amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, that did make me chuckle. We were joking, can we get like a minus time
Yeah.
score?
Can you do it that they did it before it started?
Yes, like it could, because if she's under 5 seconds and I handle from the 5 bonus, she technically would have done a minus time.
Yeah. She finished before it began. Love that.
Right? Literally, the judges are not allowed to blink. Blinking is not allowed.
So you've got the classes, we've got online. People don't have to be competing if they don't want to.
No, absolutely not. If you just want to do something different with your dog. Like, also, like if you're thinking that you might want to try agility first, I would say start with hoopers, because it's going to give you all the foundations you need for agility.
Yeah.
Because the agility, as I said, like agility is hard. Now I'm actually entering the world of agility. Like the skills that you and your dog need to navigate a course it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. And it sounds like I've not done hoopers, although I am sitting here thinking I'm gonna have to look this up later, because I think, this sounds like my cup of tea.
Join us.
But
We have cookies.
We have cookies. Get in my van. I've got dogs and cookies.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like it's something that would be really confidence building as well, because I know, like, obviously I work with rescue dogs and nervous dogs, but even that building up their confidence to go through a tunnel, to go under a hoop, and to work from a distance. That is a huge confidence building
Yes.
thing for dogs. So that sounds, yeah, it sounds amazing.
I find as well dogs that need a job. You know the types I mean, your working breed dogs, your gun dog types, like your herding types, they need to do.
Mm.
And Hoopers is a really great outlet. Also, I've got friends that have gun dogs that they work, they take them out on shoots, and they've said that actually the Hoopers, again, because it's that distance handling. What do dogs on shoots do? They are handled from a distance, so it complements it. Our herding breeds, obviously collies come to mind straight away, but even kind of the less known herding breeds, or the ones we don't see so much, your old English, your little Pumis, like that can tap into that genetic need for the dog. And I feel like the world is becoming more aware of giving the dogs those genetic outlets. We understand that dogs need outlets for what they are bred to do. And even the terriers, it gives them a job. It gives them something fun they can do. But even if you've got a crossbreed that's maybe not even working lines, just a nice pet dog, it's just you and your dog doing a thing.
It sounds like it would be something that would be great for. I've got a Dachshund, and obviously
Yep.
he would absolutely do agility if I allowed him to and was willing to do it myself. But obviously with his back and everything, that's something that you don't want that high impact. But something obviously like that, where he would be working at a distance and working his mind, there's none of that impact on his joints and his back. So it's perfect for dogs like that as well, isn't it?
So let's face it, Dachshunds were bred to go down holes,
Yeah.
right? So you've got a tunnel. So that's that little. They're like, oh, we're going down the hole.
Yeah.
Cool. I one of my favorite clients moved away, and I miss her dearly. She had 4 mini wire-haired Dachshunds, collectively known as the Savages. Because that many Dachshunds is not quiet, right? And do every single one of her dogs? In fact, if people do, because we have an instructor course as well, if you do any of my online stuff, you will see the Dachshunds featured, because they were a big part of my journey. When I first met Ali, she had little Hugo that came to his first puppy class wearing a ferret harness. And because he was that small. Yeah, that's a top tip for you. If ever you have little tiny Dachshunds, ferret harnesses fit, people. Top training tip. So I've had like little tiny Dachshunds coming through, and we do see quite a few competing because it takes that jumping out. Also, I teach a 2.5 kilo Maltese.
Oh.
And she does agility as well, but she loves her hoopies. And oh my God, that dog shifts. Like, she's fast.
Yeah. It's going to be really good for them, isn't it? Because it's getting that. We do it a lot with little dogs where we don't think, oh, they don't need to do this stuff. They don't need to do this, that, and the other. But they probably need it more because, they're not working those minds. It's perfect.
And especially when, like, the toy breed base, I feel were bred a little bit more for companionship. But like Chihuahuas were used allegedly back in the day. If you listen to Beverly Hills Chihuahua is a really good source of information. But they were in the temples and they used to like kill snakes and things. I can tell you now, the prey drive in my Chihuahuas has been the strongest of all the dogs I've had.
I believe it.
Like,
I do.
the little dogs, people forget that they were used for ratting and micing. And if you've ever dealt with wild rats, I mean, Colin, you're a London boy, you must see rats all the time. You don't want to mess with them.
If I see a rat, I'm
He's
not there
gone.
enough to realise it's a rat.
Like, so you need a certain element. Like when we look at those terriers were bred to grab, bite, shake, kill the small fluffy things. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. They were bred to hunt and find the things. So giving them an outlet to run and chase and do something and listen to instructions, it might not be completely next to that genetic purpose, but it is an outlet for running and working with the human.
Yeah.
Totally agree with
Brilliant.
that. So, how do people get in touch with you if they want to come and join Canine Hooper's world?
So if you are a dog trainer and you are going, oh, this sounds like a thing, the instructor course is online. So it doesn't matter what country you're in. I think this is one of the reasons why we've got such a big international hub now, because I've tried to make it as accessible as possible. So the online course is there. I am in the process of doing a few changes to it. So currently you do level 1, then you can go on to do level 2. I'm currently working through making it one big course because I feel like all the information is important. So if you're kind of quick, you can jump on and do them as 2 separate parts, but coming soon, there is going to be like the ultimate Hoopers instructor course, which will be one big amalgamated thing. And there is a written part and there will be a video part. And yeah, I'm excited for it because I love watching the instructors, especially when you do the level 2 or what will be like part B of the ultimate instructor course. I love watching the videos of the instructors because there's a bit about warm up, then there's exercises, so I can see how you're handling your own dogs on the courses and stuff. Because I will still be doing some in-person stuff, but I found that I think this is where the shift in COVID happened. People actually quite like doing instructor stuff online. Last week, when it was roasting hot in the UK, I had 3 new instructors because everyone was sat at home because they couldn't teach. And they went, oh, I can do this online. Amazing. So they'd been meaning to do it for a while and they were kind of forced by the heat wave to do it. I mean, we were meant to do this last week and decided that melting was not the best podcast.
Harry, I mean, I'm going to ask you a question. So, when is your book going to arrive regarding
Book.
Hoopers?
I love that you feel I have the neuro sparkles to sit down long enough to write a book. I've been saying I'm going to write a book for about 10 years. Yeah, no, it hasn't happened yet. But one of my instructors has just written a book, which does look really cool. I'm waiting for the thing. I believe it is a Hoopers at Home book, but I can find out the details for that. But yeah, Natalie Waller has just published a Hoopers book. She did one before that was for people at home, and it was the A to Z. So all the courses were like letters. So it gave you different course ideas to practice at home, which was really cool.
So, if anyone now is like, got their own dog and they just want to get in touch with you, would that be the same place they get in touch
Yeah,
with you?
if you like go onto the Facebook or drop me, I would say I'm on Instagram. I'm rubbish on Instagram. Like I forget about that. So I'm not very good at checking messages and things. The most direct way to get hold of me and for me to actually go, oh, work thing, need to do that, is to email me, which is info@caninehoopersworld.com.
Carrie, it's been an absolute pleasure. For anyone that really wants to get involved with Hoopers, get involved with Hoopers. It's a low impact sport and it's absolutely amazing. You will have fun and your dog will absolutely love you for it. Carrie, thank you for coming along today. We're going to have to get you back when your
Obviously,
book
absolutely.
when your book has been published.
Oh God, no. Don't give me that. It'll be like 2092 by that point.
Because with every sport there is a book. Yeah.
Colin, I'm gonna suggest, my darling, do not hold your breath because Neuro Sparkles will not do that. Let's just hope that one morning I wake up and my hyper focus goes book and it's done in a day.
So until the next time, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit that like so you don't get to miss any of the stuff that we put out. So it's goodbye from myself and Samantha. And at some point soon, you'll see Carrie once again. So goodbye for now.